Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja.
And I'm Hital, and today we're making baked masala chicken wings.
So it's a very simple recipe. Sounds really hard, and a lot of times all of us just go to the restaurant and eat it. But when you make it at home, you know what's going in, and you can tailor make it to your taste.
And it's baked. I think that's the biggest turn off for a lot of people is they don't want to eat fried chicken. So it's a little bit healthier too.
Right. So here we have approximately 2¼ pounds of wings. The chicken has been washed and patted dry, and if you notice, we have both the drumlets and the wings over here. And usually what happens is the wings, they have a little tip over here. Our butcher was nice enough to cut it for us, but it usually has like a little triangle piece over here which has been cut off, and you need to do that because it's such a small part and it's such a thin part. When you're baking, that little portion will just dry up, and won't look good and burn a lot faster. So this is what the end product looks like. This is the actual wing, and like we mentioned, here's some drumlets.
So to this we're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, or to taste, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and about 3/4 teaspoon of garam masala, or to taste.
So I'm going to just mix it really well now. Make sure the salt and the garam masala and the pepper go onto all the pieces. Now when we're doing it for ourselves at home, we just put it in a Ziploc bag and give it a toss, so that way we're not dirtying an extra dish. It's just easy cleanup.
Right.
But this is for all your benefit, just for your benefit. So now, since we're doing it in a bowl, the best way to mix everything, all the seasoning and the masalas in, is using your hands. Now whenever we use Ziploc bags, you just have to put the seasoning in the thing, and the bag is so easy to maneuver and knead, so that the masalas just go all over the place, and you can move things around.
Right.
It's just easier. But in a bowl, if you're using a bowl, use your hands. That's the best way to mix it.
And once all the spices are mixed in well on the chicken, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of oil and just mix it through. And we have some plastic wrap. We're going to cover the bowl tightly. And we're going to marinate this in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes, but up to an hour if you have the time. So we pulled our chicken out of the refrigerator. It's been marinating for about an hour, and we have our oven already preheating at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And now what we're going to do is we have some all-purpose flour here. We're going to take about 1/4 cup and just sprinkle it over the top and basically toss the chicken so that it coats completely with this flour.
Now if you're doing it in a Ziploc, it's really easy. You just put that flour in the Ziploc bag and just toss it. Now the flour is what is going to form a coating on the chicken, so just make sure all the chicken is coated with the flour. That looks good.
So now we're going to take a regular baking sheet and we're going to line it with some parchment paper. Now, if you don't have parchment paper, that's okay. You can use regular aluminum foil. And the only extra step is you're going to have to spray the aluminum foil with some oil, coat it with oil so that the wings don't stick. But with parchment paper, you don't have to worry about it sticking.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to line the parchment paper with the wings. So we've put the chicken in a single layer, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a can of spray and we're just going to lightly coat it, just very, very lightly. You just don't want the maida or the flour to burn, with the heat.
And our oven is ready. We're going to put this in the oven and let it bake for 30 minutes, and then we're going to turn it and then let it bake for another 30 minutes.
Now, one of the things we wanted to mention is, our chicken wings are nice and
healthy.
Healthy, yes. But a lot of times they're skinnier and they're smaller, so you just use your discretion, and you can reduce the cooking time by about 15 minutes. You can keep it at the same temperature and just take it down to do it for total cooking time for about 45 minutes, and in between just flip them around. So I think that will be fine.
So while our wings are baking, we're going to start working on the sauce. We have about, once it gets grounded, it's going to be about 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of ginger, and green chilies to taste, depending on how spicy you'd like this. We have a little spice grinder, and we're going to grind it into a paste. So we ground up the ginger and garlic and green chilies, and it's not a fine paste, but it's pretty smooth. So once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and go to our stove and work on the remainder of the sauce.
So over here on medium heat, we have a saucepan with 1 tablespoon of oil, and it's hot. So what we've done is we've taken a 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds and we've crushed them in a mortar and pestle, and we're going to add it to the oil. And right after that, we're going to add the freshly ground ginger, garlic and chili paste. Now the oil is on a low heat because you want control over the cooking. Just cook for about 30 seconds. Into this we're going to add a 1/4 cup of tamarind paste.
And if you're using the concentrated tamarind paste, which is the one which is really dark in color, then definitely use about half of this.
This is kind of what it looks like. You will have to adjust a little bit to your taste. I'm going to increase the heat to just a medium and just allow it to come to a boil. Keep stirring it, constantly, because in the initial stages it can burn really fast. Okay, that looks ready. And to this now we're going to add 1 cup of water. Mix it through, and we're going to cover it and allow it to come to a boil. So the mixture has come to a boil, and now we're going to add in some spices. We're going to add a little bit of salt. You have to remember that the sauce is going to reduce, so add just a little bit right now. You can always adjust it later if you need to. You're going to use a little bit of red chili powder to taste. And for the red color, what we're going to do is we're going to use balance of the Kashmiri mirch, which is just for color. So that way we get the color without the super spicy heat. 1 teaspoon of that and 1 teaspoon of garam masala. And mix. Look at the color. It's become so nice. You can put it on a little lower flame and just allow it to reduce. Now we're going to allow the sauce to reduce to about half the amount. It's been 30 minutes. The timer has gone off. Now we're going to open up the oven and flip the chicken around. It looks perfect. And also we do not need to spray any more oil on it. There is already some oil on the pan, and that will help it prevent it from drying up. And back in for another 30 minutes. So the sauce is looking good. It's thickening up, and I'm going to now add some jaggery to this. You can use sugar or you can use brown sugar. This is about 1 tablespoon, but it is really honestly to taste. Let the jaggery melt. Look at the sauce, it looks fantastic.
So our wings are out of the oven. They baked for exactly 1 hour for us. And we're going to transfer them to a nice big bowl that we can use to toss our sauce in. My goodness, as I'm picking it up, you can see the little crispiness of the wings. It's really nicely crisped.
So really your sauce should be ready before the wings come out, so that as soon as they come out you can toss them and they're nice and hot. Now, a lot of times when we don't have a lot of patience, the other thing you can do is you can just add a little bit of cornstarch to your sauce and just to help it thicken up. But ours is looking good and we're okay with it. But if you really want to do that, if you like a thicker sauce, it's a very easy fix.
And here's our sauce. We're going to pour it over the top.
Ooh.
It's yummy.
Absolutely. And all we're going to do is just toss it, step back, get an apron on. So just make sure all your chicken is coated in the sauce. Ooh, that looks so good. And did I splash? Or you can use a spoon.
You don't want to get all fancy.
Yeah, but just make sure the sauce is on all the chicken wings, and how fantastic does that look?
Now they still have the crispy coating on top, but this yummy coating of sauce as well. So it's perfect.
So with buffalo wings, we always have a dipping sauce. And since they are spicy, you want something to just cool it down and not be so intense. So we're going to do sour cream. Just going to put a little bit of sour cream in a bowl.
And I have some fresh cilantro leaves. And a little bit of mint leaves also that we just plucked from a plant. I'm going to finely chop these. It smells so fresh.
Yep.
Can also add just a little bit of salt in there.
There you go. Perfect dipping sauce.
So our wings are ready to serve. Once again, they taste best right out of the oven, mixed and served.
And nobody will guess what the sauce is.
Exactly.
Have people guessing, so. And it's made at home.
Made it
wonderful.
home, and a healthier version. We can't stress that enough. It's baked, it's not fried,
Right.
so you just feel good about serving it. So enjoy these delicious oven-baked masala wings, and join us again for another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.